Welcome to another session. Today it's Sunday, March 8th. Is it 8th or 10th? 8th, yes. The anniversary of Frazier Ali won. This is doubleheader Sunday. I posted a quick video earlier, but really didn't talk about much. Just wanted to say hello. Welcome everyone back from end of season, I guess you'd call it, or no season, whatever. But my season always starts free agency because I want to see what happens to the players that we have, the players that should stay are going to stay, players are going to go, players that we might bring in. We're trying to fit that puzzle together so we can get that first Super Bowl win. It's going to happen. Is it going to be this year? I think it is. So, welcome everyone back. A great time of year for all my brothers and sisters in Minnesota. You made it through another winter, so that's good. I couldn't do it. I tried. I stayed until like November, and by December I had to get out. I was just like, it's just too cold. So here we are. Lots to talk about. We can't talk about everything today, but we can spend a few minutes talking about a couple of key players, at least one that I want to talk about that everyone, the experts, that tracking the stuff that went to the combine and all that are saying that he might leave. And that person is, and let me bring him up, is Anthony Harris, which is kind of like a little frustrating because, we brought Anthony in when no one really wanted him. We took him in as an undrafted, free agent, coached him up, fed him at TCO Stadium, not Stadium, but TCO Performance Center, and gave him enough money to live. And, he gets in last year and he does a great job. And now he's probably going to go to another team for like $10 million a year. That's what some of the experts are saying, and it's kind of frustrating. We do all that work. We get him to a point where he can go to another team and get that kind of money, which I don't blame him. Of course, you can't blame him, but when you think about it, it's tough. It's tough to watch that go. And I just have someone who just added a comment. I just want to stop and comment to my friend Valhalla. Hala, what is going on? We need to do a podcast together. See if I can send this. There you go. So Anthony Harris. I mean, we do all that work. We coach him up. We do this. We do that, and he's been here for 4 years or whatever, and now we get him to the point where he could actually help us get to a Super Bowl, and there's a realistic chance that he won't be around. It's frustrating, It's like there's got to be a way to do that. Let me just real quick. So I wanted to bring that up. I mean, it's it is what it is, and it's frustrating, and I don't like it. I wish there was something we could do to change that, but you can't. And but you think about it, it's like a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy to get a player to where he could actually help us, and he's probably going to leave for another team, but for more money. I mean, because we can't afford $10 million a year. If that's what he's going to get, I don't know. We shall see. Everson Griffin voided his contract. Yeah, no, you're right, Valhalla. We are going to lose him because we're capped out, and that's frustrating. I think all our money, a lot of our money, is invested in Kirk, and there's talk that we might restructure his deal to get away from that $31 million cap hit that he's we have with him, and so let's hope that that gets restructured and we can maybe afford an Anthony Harris or some of the other players. But not one guy can make the team, but let's see what we can do. And I agree with Van Halen. We're capped out. Um, let's see what we can do. The other players that are on the edge would be the cornerbacks, the Rose, the Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander, who I'm not too fond of. So if he left, I wouldn't be too unhappy. But certainly, Wayne's. I mean, he can play. Rhodes is declining, but he's still a top corner. I mean, he made it to the Pro Bowl. What does that tell you? He must be good enough, to be into that game. You think Barr is unperforming? Maybe, but I certainly like what Barr did last year. He could have gone to New York Jets for much more money, but he stayed with us. Maybe he'll have a bounce back year. We shall see. We shall see. Vanhala, I'm going to invite you to a screen-to-screen podcast via Skype app. I hope you can do it. We'll plan one in the near future, certainly before March 18th, which is the start of free agency, and see if we can narrow some of this stuff down to who's really leaving, who's really staying, and although you just never know. You just never know until it's done. And is Barr the most unrated player on our team? I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I think there's, I think Barr's a good player. He's just, what they said about Barr is he just doesn't make the splash plays that he used to make, so you don't notice him, but he's still very solid. He's still very solid. So, would I want to see Barr leave? Absolutely not. Absolutely, that's my opinion. But it's all good. Great time of year. Again, I want to invite you into my new studio here for 2020. It seemed like everyone had a studio but me, so now I have my own, and I'm pretty pumped. Like last year, I have plans on inviting some great guests that I've had last year, and maybe some new ones to come on and talk the talk. We got some great talkers. We got some great fans. We got some podcast legends out there. One being Valhalla, if I'm saying it right, Sports Talk. I'm going to have to get in touch with Valhalla and do something in the near future. This is my first podcast this year, or actually my second podcast in the new studio. And so looking forward to some great entertainment pieces. Feel free to comment whenever you feel like. Enjoy talking about my Vikes. It's it is my top passion. When you talk, sports and talk in general, I just love talking Vikings. So, one of the good things is we don't have a Super Bowl, so there's always that carrot that we're chasing, and I've been doing it for a while, and I still enjoy it and still love it. So, good to be back. I'm going to cut this off a little short. I'm going to contact Van Hal and see if we can set something up. You guys have a great Sunday, a great week, and let's get ready for a great season. Let's skull this out. Skull.